The Guatemalan Congress approved an extremely controversial law that formally punishes abortion with up to 25 years in prison and even prohibits teaching about sexual diversity in schools, and of course it also prohibits same-sex marriage in the Central American nation. Guatemala's human rights ombudsman Jordan Rodas said that he will challenge it on human rights grounds. He will challenge this law on human rights grounds, claiming that this new law clearly violates human rights. It violates international agreements ratified by Guatemala. And of course, he also said that this situation represents a serious setback to freedoms. On the other hand, some lawmakers in Guatemala argue that the law promotes hatred, homophobia, and unfairly criminalizes women all across the country. Proposed by the Guatemalan right-wing Viva party, this new controversial law that was approved, this law which is called the Law for the Protection of Life and the Family. This law was surprisingly approved by a large majority of lawmakers in the Central American nation, including allies of Guatemala's President Alejandro Yamatei. This wasn't expected. In fact, before this situation, many political analysts in the Central American nation actually were pointing out on social media that it was highly unlikely that this law could somehow get approved. And this is exactly the outcome that took place. So the legislation had been on hold since the year 2018 and still has to be published in the official gazette to come into phase. However, it is almost an undeniable fact that this law, given the fact that it was already approved, is going to pass. It's going to pass and it's going to be imposed on the Central American nation, and people will have to follow this new law, this extremely controversial law. So the penalty for an abortion was dramatically increased from between 5 to 10 years to 25 years, except when the life of the mother is somehow in danger. This is like the only exception. So unfortunately, it is an undeniable fact that this situation is not exactly the most surprising thing in the world, given the fact that Guatemala is one of the most conservative countries in Central America, which is already the most conservative region of Latin America. We need to remember that this vast region of the world is divided between North America, with of course the cases of Mexico, the US and Canada, with South America, the Caribbean of course, and Central America. The most conservative part of this whole region, which is Latin America, is definitely Central America. It has always been the most conservative one. So on this vast region, Guatemala is definitely the most conservative country in this part of the world. So the fact that this situation took place is not exactly the most surprising thing in the world, considering the way politics has always been executed in this country, and of course the way so many people actually think. However, the element that represents a huge surprise is that, as I previously said, many political analysts said on social media over the last few days that the possibility that this law somehow got approved was almost minimum. However, this is what happened. Reporting from Medellin, Colombia, Luis Orozco, Newsweek.